to Nigeria in terms of economic, bilateral relationship, military cooperation, and all that cannot be ignored by the country. So it is not out of place if the president had gone to that country, just like he visited some other countries in the past for trade, relationship, military support, and all that. Now, OIC that you talked about started during Babangida's era. Babangida brought in Nigeria to OIC. And Babangida left government more than 30 years ago. So, it's not this administration or the Jonathan administration or Yar'Adua administration, or even Obasanjo's administration that brought Nigeria to OIC. And OIC's tenet does not require you to be an Islamic state before you can be a member. That is that. Then when you come to integrating Nigeria's banking system, no. The banks that operate on Islamic tenets in Nigeria are maybe 2, 3. You have the Jaiz Bank. There's another one. I've forgotten the name now, but I will soon remember in the course of this interview. Now, these people, the difference between those banks and conventional commercial bank, like the Sukuk that you see on some of those highways, what that bank seeks to do is, most of these Islamic banks, they don't thrive on interest. If you borrow money from them, they give you loan, and then you share the proceed, the profit made from that endeavor with the bank. Not that you will pay interest that will begin to mount and mount until you are not able to pay and your collateral is forfeited. So, for me, this Islamization may not really fly, and it's not likely to fly.
The first question, Mr. Fanimo, is this, it's been a conspiracy theory for a long while that there is an agenda like that. Would you say that with what we are seeing, it brings it to light? It almost paints it to look as if it is true that there is an agenda like that before we talk about whether it will fly or not?
You see, let me tell you that I know most of these perpetrators of these criminal activities, they are not even believers, as you think. They are just bunch of criminals. And they thrive where they feel they want to do. If you meet with people that understand the modus operandi of the Boko Haram, the terrorists in the northwest of Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, you would understand that most of them are a bunch of criminals protecting some people that are bent on extracting state resources for their personal benefit. And over the time, they realized that kidnapping has suddenly become a lucrative and thriving business. They ventured into it. And so, these are elements. For me, I know and I want to say here that any attempt to say you want to Islamize Nigeria will be vehemently resisted by those in the know. I'll give you an example. I doubt if religious sentiment that will make a Southwesterner attack his fellow Yoruba, I doubt it will ever exist. That's another thing. And Muslims are in the minority in the southeast. In south, you hardly see them. The only incursion is the Middle Belt, which are most of the states in the Middle Belt have the preponderance of Christians and Muslims, sometimes in equal measures. So if they want to do that, well, I will not speak for them. As I'm seated here, I want to tell you that I'm a product of the two religions. My mother was a Muslim and she died a Muslim. My father was a Christian and he died a Christian. And there are many homes like that. I grew up to know my grandfather as a staunch Christian, but his younger brother was a staunch Muslim. And there was never a quarrel over religion in my homestead. And same for almost everywhere in Yoruba land. I've not heard or seen any Muslim in the southeast that had made trouble with his kinsman over religion. Neither have I seen in the south. So the conspiracy theory that they want to Islamize, if they want to do it since Babangida era, by now we should be doing their bidding as Muslims, all of us here. But I know that even if they have the intention, it's not going to work.
Even if they have the intention, it's not going to work. But if that intention exists, is it not, is it advantageous to our collectiveness, to our collective unity as a people? Even if it wasn't Islamization, even if it was Christianization, even if it was traditionalization, I mean, quote and unquote, both words, right? Nigeria is meant to be a secular state. But let's even walk away from whether Islamization or not and look at security. Now, I want us to take a very short listen to this report by an Egyptian TV news program that actually accused Turkey of being a terrorist state with a broad reach. They say they are supplying weapons to terrorists across the world and also Boko Haram in Nigeria. And not just any kind of weapons, but military-grade weapons that are capable of mass destruction. Let's take a very short listen and then the program continues.
News program says that Turkey is clearly a terrorist state with a broad reach. It reports that Turkey is supplying weapons to the terrorist group Boko Haram in Nigeria. 10 TV host Nashat Al-Delhi reported on a leak confirming an intercepted phone call from a few years back confirming the action. He reported in part, today's leak confirms without a doubt that Erdogan, his state, his government, and his party are transferring weapons from Turkey to, this is a shock, to where you may ask, to Nigeria. And to whom? To the Boko Haram organization. Well, Raymond Ibrahim, a journalism fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center and an expert on the Middle East and Islam, joins us now with more on this. Welcome, Raymond.
Hello, Heather.
Are you surprised by this report? What's your take on it?
No, I'm not surprised. And my take on it is that the actual tape that was made that you referenced and you quoted was made apparently in 2014 or 15. And it was reported widely in certain areas in the U.S. and in the West, not so much, and not much came out of it. And the reason, I think, is because Erdogan wasn't didn't have his fingers so much in Islamist politics outside of his own nation. But now that we've seen, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the ISIS Islamic State caliph who was killed recently, and he was found just 3 miles from the Turkish border, which is in fact one of the last, or if not the last bastion of jihadi so-called freedom fighters of attacking the Syrian government. It's brought it up again, the fact that everyone is saying, well, look, he's supporting ISIS. So now we're remembering, and that was, I think, the point of the Egyptian show. We're bringing back to see that there's some continuity here. It's not just right next door to Syria, to Turkey, meaning Syria. He's involved with some of the absolute worst Islamic terror groups. Remember, Boko Haram, which its name loosely means Western education is forbidden, haram, was basically doing what ISIS is notorious for years before ISIS. So the whole, head chopping, crucifying, massacres, enslaving women and children, burning people alive. Boko Haram was doing that. And one of the things that international observers have been noticing, especially increasingly, is that their armaments, their weapons, are very sophisticated. And it's even...
All right, you're listening to Matters on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. This is an excerpt from a particular news program and interview that was carried out in December 2025, and it talks about Turkey being involved in sponsoring terrorism. Of course, Turkey did not come out and say anything about that. The Nigerian government did not address allegations that, they are doing business or entering into a defense cooperation with a country that has been accused of sponsoring terrorism. Now, Nigeria and Turkey signed 8 documents and a joint declaration, a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the Presidency for Talks Abroad and Related Communities of the Republic of Turkey, and Nigerians in Diaspora Commission of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is just one, it's about 8, but I want to talk about the agreement on defense cooperation between the government of the Republic of Turkey and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can a country that has been accused of terrorism actually cooperate with Nigeria to end her terrorist problem?
You see, there's no way President Tinubu will go to Turkey and accuse his counterpart that, look, you are sponsoring Boko Haram, except there is overwhelming evidence as to that. But on diplomatic level, they will talk about all those things that you have itemized in the course of their discussion. But I want to tell you that if it is found that the state, because it's one thing that some people in Turkey, Turkish nationals, who may have sympathy for Boko Haram, may be channeling their funds, their weaponry to Boko Haram. And the state may not expressly approve of it. And I expect that Nigerian security community, the NIA in particular, should have done their due diligence and advised the president on why he should visit Turkey or not. And if they have done that and they discover that there are some people that are sympathetic to Boko Haram, I don't think it is proper for these security agencies to allow the president to visit Turkey, because it's like you are encouraging your traducer to harass you the more. And I will not support that. But it's still in the realm of speculation. But all I know is, if we want to fight terrorism, we should fight these people as terrorists, as the criminal they are, and not impute any religion. Because these terrorists sometimes also killed Muslims, but not in the same proportion as they kill Christians. And that is why when we talk about genocide, I support that notion that there is systematic elimination of Christians. Particularly, we have not seen any of these Christian states moving up north to Muslim-dominated states to attack, to abduct, to kidnap. And most of these people that are involved in attack on villages, the way they profile them suggested that they are not Christians but Muslims. And we see videos of those who have been arrested. So, for me, the president may not solely rely on what we say outside. He has the right machinery, he has the right manpower, he has the right, the right agencies to advise him on what on what to do and what not to do. But for me, I don't want to come here and begin to tell you that Turkey is arming Boko Haram without evidence. But if they do, I think it is necessary for the government of Nigeria to take it up with that government in Turkey. That's my position.
All right, then. While we're talking about insecurity in the country, recall that towards the end of last year, the federal government told us, through Daniel Bwala told us, of course, he's representing the presidency, that very soon we'll know the financiers of terrorism in the country. And there was a time that our Sahelian neighbors, I think it was Niger, Mali, came out to say, oh, we know the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria. We'll tell you very soon. Then also, some Nigerians also asked questions about the 400 names that were given to the government by the government of the UAE. And then they ask all of this, why is it being shrouded in secrecy? Of course, Nigerians may not be able to do too much about it if they know these names, but at least let us know the people who are responsible for the bloodshed in the land. While we're talking about this, there is a very recent report that security forces have apprehended the president of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, in Kwara State, Idris Abubakar, in a move to tackle the rising wave of insecurity in the north-central region of the country. Along with several other high-ranking members of the association, he was taken into custody following allegations of deep-seated involvement in kidnapping syndicate and the active sponsorship of armed banditry across the state. Now, preliminary investigations suggest there is a disturbingly high level of collaboration between the local leadership and criminal element. According to intelligence reports, the Miyetti Allah leader reportedly admitted to facilitating various kidnapping operations. These crimes are believed to have been carried out by Fulani bandits who have long terrorized rural communities and commuters in the region. There is no gainsaying the fact that these incidents of terrorism, bloodshed, killings, murders, banditry, and kidnapping has increased in Kwara and Kogi states recently. Now, we're seeing a situation where Miyetti Allah leaders are being arrested for kidnapping and sponsoring banditry in Kwara State. Mr. Fanimo.
You see, for every society, there will always be bad elements. And you see, there is a thin line between religious belief and culture in some climes, and it's unfortunate. If there is overwhelming evidence against this Miyetti Allah chairman, I think the right thing is for government to prosecute and tender unassailable evidence against him to attract conviction, so that any other person that wants to toe that line, we should eschew this attitude of, because I have somebody at the top, I can go to any length to hurt on our fellow human beings and then believing that you get away with it. I am not a fan of anybody that is linked to terrorism. And if I have my way, I will support summary execution for anybody found guilty of terrorizing or kidnapping his fellow human being. Because you can't estimate the level of trauma. You can't estimate the level of psychological issues that come with kidnapping and the abduction. As we are seated here now, we are comfortable. Do you know if somebody just barged into this studio and say, all of you are not leaving this place until 6 p.m., which is just about 4 hours away from here, the kind of unease that would prevail here, we will be sweating even when the air conditioner is on. So for me, these people, it is high time we began to deal with them decisively, so that at least we will have some level of respite in the country as we go along and as a nation. So for me, I would rather that whoever, no matter how highly placed, no matter how well connected, whoever is found to have harassed, intimidated any Nigerian should be brought to book and appropriate sanctions meted out to that person.
All right, then. All right, Michelle has a question to ask.
Okay, looking at insecurity in the country, Nigeria is collaborating with the United States and now collaborating with Turkey. But do you think these collaborations are enough to actually solve the problem? That is, if the government is willing.
You see, I've always said this, and it's been very long a time that I've said it. What is required in the fight against terrorism is the political will to want to do it without imputing religion, without imputing politics, without imputing ethnicity. Let's go all out to fight these people and fight them to a standstill. If I have a relative that is a Boko Haram member, I will go and report him without hesitation and make sure that he is arrested. If all of us denounce these terrorists and we don't shield them, we would have secured a lot of mileage in the fight against these terrorists. Now, coming to the United States intervention, support, whichever one you want to call it, it's a welcome development. Because America will come here without any emotional attachment. They will be emotionally detached and they will do their job with precision, not minding whoever is affected. But if we allow Nigeria to fight these people, that's when the soldier that is supposed to go after a Boko Haram member suddenly registers in his mind that, why should I follow this up when I know that I'm attacking my fellow brother? He will not see that criminal from the prism of criminality, but brotherhood. And so that's why the intervention of American government was applauded by most Nigerians. And the same thing, if Turkey is sincere and ready to support us in this fight, let them come. At least for us to have respite, I will support it.
So we should be willing to take help and cooperation from any country that wants to collaborate with us right now. It doesn't matter the antecedents. It does not matter whatever they've been accused of.
We should take support from any country that is willing, provided that it has been found that such country does not have any leaning to these terrorist groups.
All right, then. You talked about the U.S. strikes very, very recently. I mean, as recently as today, Bauchi Central Senator Abdul Ningi has said that the Senate was not aware of the U.S. airstrikes on Nigerian territory. Now, speaking during plenary, Ningi said such attacks make Nigeria vulnerable to other countries and other powers. It makes Nigeria open, makes Nigeria look like, oh, anything goes, anything can enter, anything can happen, anyone can do whatever they like. Now, he was raising a point of order and speaking on privileges. The lawmaker prayed that the nation service chiefs should be invited to explain to the Senate how the attack came about. He suggested that the United States lacks the power to attack or attempt to bomb terrorist camps and locations in Nigeria. According to Senator Abdul Ningi, the development was a constitutional breach. He insisted that members of the National Assembly were not aware of the airstrikes, and the Senate should order the service chiefs to come and brief the Senate on territorial integrity of the country. Of course, you recall that there was a successful, according to the U.S. President Donald Trump, said it was a successful military airstrike carried out in Nigeria against terrorist elements. Trump said he had ordered the strikes. He described them as powerful and deadly strikes against ISIS-affiliated terrorists in the northwest part of Nigeria. The Nigerian government admitted that they had provided intelligence, and the attack hit some terrorist locations in Sokoto State. The Nigerian government said they were aware of it. They had provided intelligence. It was a collaboration. But now the Senate is saying, look, we should have been made aware of this, even if it was on a very secret scale. It is Nigerians who are not supposed to know when something like this is happening, but the people who are in charge of the organs of government ought to know. That is to say that the lawmakers, probably the president of the Senate and other senators, heard about these strikes only when it had occurred. Do you understand what Senator Abdul Ningi is saying here? Would you say, I mean, he has a point that it seems like the legislature is being sidelined when it comes to making decisions that affect the people of the country. That's why, Mr. Fanimo.
Let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, Ningi is not saying the right thing he should say. For too long, these people have been ravaging this country, and we seem not to have the right answers to their onslaught. And somebody, so when you want to, did you watch the Situation Room when they wanted to attack Osama bin Laden when Obama was in government? In the whole of United States of America, only 5 people had the information of that Osama bin Laden's attack. The president, the vice president, the joint chiefs of staff, the director of CIA, and the secretary of state. Just 5 of them. And it took 3 years of constant monitoring before they could locate Osama bin Laden. It was right beside a military barrack in Pakistan. Even the Pakistanis never knew that it was Osama that was living in that particular building. Soldiers were coming in to the barracks and going out of the barracks. They never knew Osama was there. And the SEALs, American SEALs, Special Force, simulated, built that house, attacked it twice. Nobody heard in America. The best element of war is surprise. And so, is it part of their legislative responsibility to be asking security men to brief them when they want to attack, where they want to attack, who they want to attack?
So Ningi is wrong to ask the service chiefs to come and explain to the
what?
Senate the reason why they did not let them know.
Have you ever seen American legislature calling on the CIA director to come and explain how they killed Osama bin Laden? Or you want the joint service chief to come and explain the way they planned and executed that assignment? It's never done. Security is not supposed to be discussed in the open. What are they going to tell him? That we sat down with American soldiers and we plotted this, we plotted this. It's the same Senate and all these people that are talking that they said that anytime we procure armament, that we should let Nigerians know. What is the business of Nigerians knowing about armament procurement? The best element in war is surprise. Remove surprise from war, you are not likely to win. The other day we went to announce with fanfare that we have acquired drones. What happened? The following day, the Boko Haram people launched their own drone and killed soldiers.
Do you really think it's only when it's announced that they will intercept such information, that they do not have moles in government and a security architecture that lets them know what is going on?
That's another matter entirely. That's another matter. If you have moles within your setup, security setup, is another matter.
Okay, but let it not be that it was your carelessness in revealing information that made them intercept the information.
Yes. America came to this country to rescue just one American. And this American was surrounded by 7 fully armed Boko Haram members. ISWAP or ISIS, I don't know. And they came surreptitiously, did that assignment, killed. You know what they said when they go back to America? They said, we killed them like chickens. I wonder why Ningi did not call American government to come and explain how they came to Nigeria without informing Nigerians. You see, for me, it is not their responsibility. That's why most of the time when issues like this come up, maybe they are not properly schooled, those in the chambers. There are some things that you don't dabble in. And one of it is security matters. The only area where you can question is, we budgeted so amount for you. You said you have spent so. Can you tell us how this money was spent? Not operation, military operation. You want to invite them to come to the floor of the house to come and explain. We planted an informant that infiltrated the ranks and even mentioned the name of the informant and said this is how he gave us the clue to how we can attack. Honestly, I sometimes I feel disappointed that
in all of this you don't support Dingy's call for the service chiefs to come and explain to the Senate what's going on.
The only thing,
focus on the job of legislating and leave security for the service chiefs and the federal government.
How can you call security chiefs to come and explain how they have been attacking Boko Haram?
Mr. Fanimo, you know that these lawmakers' constituents are the ones who are involved when these terrorist acts take place. They are the ones who are involved when the US airstrikes hit Sokoto. It is their constituents that are involved. Their constituents to ask them, what are you even doing?
What did they do
in those
before
chambers?
When those people were hibernating in their communities? What did they do? What did they do to stop them? Were they not romancing them? And then suddenly somebody comes in to wipe them off. Up till now, nobody has identified one particular civilian that was not supposed to be killed, that was killed during that raid. That is to tell you that American government did a thorough job. And that's why they cannot raise eyebrows. And now you are now calling on the service chief to come and explain the kind of weapon they used, the kind of assistance that America rendered, so that those guys will now go and prepare and wait for them, ambush them, kill them. No, it's not done. It's not done. The level at which the legislature can intervene is to ask, we gave you money for you to arm yourself to this point. Were you able to do it? Do we have evidence? That's the function of subcommittee on security that will go on oversight function assignment discreetly. Not that you come and say service chiefs come and explain why American came, how they came, what they did in the floor of the house, in plenary. Well,
just like other Nigerians, do the lawmakers not deserve to know what's going on in the country? I mean, in case they are asked, when people come to them and say, oh, you're a high-ranking official, you're a high-ranking citizen of the country, how can you say you did not know when this was happening? In fact, some security analysts believe that the federal government was not, that the Nigerian government was not aware of that attack, and that they said they provided intelligence and cooperation just to save face.
You see, for me, there is no adequate information management, especially in the security circle. Look at the recent one that happened. 177 people were abducted from 3 churches simultaneously, and without conducting their own investigation, they went on air to say no, nobody was abducted, nothing happened. Until Khan began to bring out the list of those that were missing as a result of the abduction. That was when they owned up. That's not PR, that's not public relations, that's not public communication. That's blatant lie and should not be located around such places. But as much as I want full disclosure, but I want to say that security agents should be wary of giving it all, because Boko Haram knows the policeman or the soldier, but they rarely know this Boko Haram set until they begin to unleash terror. If you move from here to Oshodi now, can you identify a Boko Haram member? No, you cannot. But if you see a soldier, you identify him. So we shouldn't put our armed forces in the arms way, in the course of saying they should come and tell us how they raided Boko Haram then, what kind of weapon did they use, what kind of jet fighter did they use, how many bombs the jet fighter dropped, and all that and all that. It is not part of it.
All right then. While we're talking about security in the country and what the federal government is doing to ensure that they protect and preserve the lives of Nigerians, the federal government has unveiled plans to deploy military veterans to help secure Nigeria's ungoverned spaces as part of strategies to strengthen national security and drive economic activities in conflict affected areas. Now, this follows the inauguration of an 18-member committee by the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired. He's tasked with reclaiming ungoverned spaces for economic viability and repositioning the Nigerian Legion Corps of Commissionaries and veterans. Now, when you hear political and security analysts talk about the insecurity situation in the country, they say, oh, farmers are unable to go to their farms because of insecurity. There are whole villages that have been sacked, where you can walk through these villages and you see neither man nor mammal. You won't see anybody, you won't see any animals. It's almost as if the weeds grow and it overtakes the house, it overtakes the communities, because even the people who sacked the indigenous members of that community are not even there. It seems they just come, they play, and they go. Now the federal government is saying, oh, let's bring back military veterans, people who are retired from active service. Let's take them to these places. Let them help us reclaim these spaces. Would you say this is a very good initiative? Or are we stressing the people who have already served their fatherland, who are supposed to be resting, to come back and reserve the fatherland again?
You see, the part of what government has done to make sure that those ungoverned places are reclaimed is the creation of the forest guards. I'm aware that 7,000 of them had been deployed to the forests. But let's wait for what is likely to be the outcome of this deployment. But the truth about it is, we have that responsibility. When I said we Nigerians, led by the federal government, we have that responsibility to at least provide protection for our nationals. And in doing that, you are also increasing productivity, especially in the farmlands. If these people are assured and they see it being rolled out, that they have people, security operatives that will protect and guard them, they will return to farm and there will be bountiful yield. So it is the responsibility of the federal government, and using the available resources, particularly the National Guard, Forest Guard, to try as much as possible to protect the hinterland. Because most of this abduction, kidnapping, village sack are done in far-flung places that they do not enjoy federal government or state government presence, even local government presence. You are in the last 15 years, apart from Abuja that they came to, most times they will go to villages, ransack the whole place, make that place uninhabitable for the indigenous of that place, and then migrate. And then these people will take over. So we need to intensify efforts and ensure that the National Forest Guard performs the statutory functions that they should perform in the cause of protecting lives and property.
All right then. Michelle has a question to ask.
Okay, when people retire, it means they are advanced in age. What kind of service can they render now that they are most likely old and no longer agile?
That's a big one. Let me tell you, in other climes, once you get to a certain rank in the military, you are only retired from active service, but you are on the reserved list. When there was need for some of these officers, Nigerian military recalled them. You see, when you retire from active football and your agility cannot play football like in the younger days, you retire to being a coach. And there are some levels, if you are recalled as a military officer, what they require from you is tactical and strategic maneuvering, such that you can paint scenarios and hazard guesses as to what is likely to happen the next minute, and with utmost accuracy. So they are not going to the war front to carry assault rifle, but they provide the strategic intelligence. They provide operational guideline and support. So they don't need to run etasketa.
So they'll just have people under them that's other young soldiers,
exactly,
officers
that they will
command.
They will command.
But again, these people, they've given their prime, they've given their energy to the country for all these years. While recalling them now, is that not an admittance to a failure of security, where you have to bring back people that have done their bit?
Everywhere. It's even more pronounced in America. In some countries, anybody that is 18 years and above is on the reserve list because you would have undergone military training. But because you don't want to be active, they can keep you. The day they need you, you will be the one to pick your uniform and join them in the battlefield. Israel has that. So it's not out of place to have retired military officers being recalled. That's why that ceremonial days you see them wearing during pulling out parade, they take it home. Yes, it's their property. And that is to tell you that if their services are needed, you put it on.
Now, while we're talking about recalling our military veterans to secure ungoverned spaces, someone is actually asking a question on YouTube saying, why do we have ungoverned spaces in Nigeria in the first place? That when it comes to election time, you still see polling units in most of these places, and that it speaks to the unseriousness of the security architecture of the country.
The military setup is not like the civilian setup. Do you understand?
Okay.
And when you ask why are there ungoverned spaces, I'm sure that if you don't come from the interland, you have friends that are from the interland.
Please come closer to the mic, sir.
You have friends that are from the interland. What they call ungoverned places are those ancestral forests that you cannot build there in the next 10, 15 years. These are places that are far from habitation. And they preserve those places for fauna and fauna. They preserve, that's why you have the conservation society. So those are people that you call ungoverned places, places that are not habited yet. But that does not mean that there are some parcels of land now that if your family, if you go back home, they want to take you to that place, they will hire bikes. Because you may have to trek for 5-6 hours before you get to that particular spot. And those are places that are not governed. You rarely find human beings there. And it is easy for these people to locate it because they are nomads. They travel day and night in these forests. So that particular area in your village that belongs to your village that you don't know, if there are nomads in that place, they will identify them. Do you believe that? They will be the one to even show you. So that's why you have ungoverned places.
So as far as you're concerned, the bringing back military veterans to oversee these ungoverned spaces is a welcome idea.
The military veterans are not going to be the only one to do that. You have the legionnaires. Legionnaires are the ones that decided to disengage even when they are not of age. It is 35 years or 60. But some you see soldiers that after their enlistment, maybe after 3 years, I think minimum of 3 years before you can say you want to disengage, you can disengage. And then you join the legion because you are part of the military. Okay? So these are the ones. Have you ever been to Armed Forces Remembrance Day? You see some of the legionnaires that are between the ages of 35, 40, and they are retired. So those ones, they are still active. They can join the forest guards to protect those places. And that's why they are being recalled. They are ready-made, unlike the ones that the youth that you are going to recruit, start training them for at least a minimum of 6 months before you can deploy them. This is a matter of urgency and it deserves urgent attention. And that's why they are bringing in the legionnaires.
All right, then. It's time for us to hear from you, the audience. Mr. Dele Fanimo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your analysis on matters this afternoon. I do appreciate you. It's time for us to let you go. Thank you so much.
I want to listen to comments.
You want to listen to the comments? All right, then let's go. 0803-692-9933. 0803-692-9933. That's the number you can call to be a part of the conversation. Send your message on WhatsApp to 0817-175-6338. 0817-175-6338 on WhatsApp. You can send a message on WhatsApp or give us a call on WhatsApp. This is Matters and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Hello, welcome to the conversation. Good afternoon to you. Hello, hi there. Welcome to the conversation. All right. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Matters. How you doing?
Good afternoon, ma.
Hi. What's your name and location, please?
I'm calling from Mexico.
Welcome. Go ahead.
I really love your analysis. I really enjoyed it. I just want to greet you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother. Good afternoon, my brother. Thank you so much. I
really love your. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. Okay. You want to say something else? Go ahead. Hello? Oh dear. All right, give us a call back. 0803-692-9933. It's exactly 2:30 p.m. We have about 25 minutes to take your calls and your messages. Let's take advantage of it. 0803-692-9933. Hello? Hello?
This is she calling from Sulere. Is this Chioma?
This is Chioma Innocent on Matters. What's your name? Oh, you've told us your name is Chief from Sulere. All right, go ahead, please. Let's get your opinion.
I really want to appreciate your guest this afternoon. It's really a very informative session because he really dived deep into some of these issues that the military are facing in terms of intelligence sharing and even our Senate and everything. You know, that is an insight, and I think he's right in most of what he said. You know, but I really want to say something that I want to say, because I don't understand till now. I don't know why the government is keeping the Kano in prison.
That's not what we're doing.
For that amount of time, no, because do you know why? When you people were talking, he mentioned that it's been confirmed that military is involved in kidnapping.
It's one of their leaders in Kwara State.
Yes, one of the leaders involved in kidnapping and all that, they have been kidnapping people, and that was the similar society. He should be invited, and he should, because he seems maybe it's a psychic or something. Let him share more information with the government and all that. And I think that should be what they are supposed to have done, then, instead of incarcerating him for that amount of time, you know.
All right.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Everything that he said is what really happened. We are seeing it today.
Thank
and
you.
he has been saying this for all this while, and then you cannot prove anything against him except that he said this, he said that.
All right.
Even if it's illegal, you can go to jail, but not for that period of time.
Okay.
It doesn't, I don't understand the reason why they do like that. And we are not alone.
Okay.
We are in a community of the other countries are also looking at what we are. Even what we are saying now is everywhere. It's everywhere. Tomorrow you see the bloggers on it and all what things that are saying.
Thank you so much for your call. Thank you for your call. Let's hear from others, all right? Thank you so much. Thank you for holding on. Good afternoon to you. What's your name and location, please? Hello? Hello? Yes, I can hear you. What's your name and your location?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Lucy. I'm Lucy.
Where are you calling from?
I am calling from across the state.
Good to have you here. Go ahead.
Now, Choma, let me say something about. Good afternoon to our guest there and Mitchell.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Now, I told you last time I spoke with your money on your platform that everything rises and falls on leadership. That leadership has failed and disappointed Nigeria.
Okay.
Nigeria is separated in two sides, south and the north. In the north, you could say, but not with figuratively, that we have more Muslim in the north than Christians. But you could say that figuratively that in the south, we have more Christians than Muslim. Now, in the east of Nigeria, we don't have aboriginal Muslims. We have converted Muslims via business venture. Let me put it that way. Now, why should former military president Muhammad Babangida precisely goes and register Nigeria to such Islamic organization? And this has been there for quite a long time. Now, my concern with this current regime right now, when he goes there for that meeting, how does he present Nigeria? Did he tell them Nigeria is a mixed breed of country? That we are not a secular, we are not a specific Muslim country. Nigeria is a sectarian state. We have largely other religions outside Muslim and Christians. Now, you cannot figuratively say by data or by statistic that one religion supersedes the other by number or by size. Now, when I say everything falls on leadership, Choma, in Egypt, remember, before the Arab Spring spilled over to that side, we had Mubarak. He left. Mohamed Morsi entered. As soon as he entered there, he Islamized the country. We're not starting broadcasters reading news, hijab. Now, his chief of army staff, the current man right now, removed him and took over. The first thing this man did, he reorientated Egyptians, and he orientated from that Islamic organization. He called mosques, religious leaders in the mosque. He told them they should mind what they preach and put a monitoring team over what they do in the mosques. As I speak today, Egypt is one of the most stabilized countries in Africa and the fastest growing economy in Africa. So you could see it, everything boils down to leadership. In Iran, the Western leaders are criticizing. We have moderate Muslim, we have Christians, we have Jewish community. They integrate, they do things together. Even though we know it's the capital of Shiite Islam. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say, Choma. I can tell you in Russia, there's a place called Tarkovsky in Russia, in Europe. Now, there is dominated by Muslims. But as a Christian, if you go there, you can never feel unsafe. You can't feel unsafe. Everything is working well. In Kazan in Russia, you will see church opposite mosque. You will see church side by side with mosques. Nobody kill anybody there. Nobody is fighting anybody. And my concern is why these military elites all the years, why would they be narrowing towards the channel of Islam? Why would they be doing this? And you want to have peace, even this current regime had the opportunity to pick vice president. You pick a Muslim as well. How do we enjoy peace in Nigeria? How do we have solutions to all of this? The menace of terrorism everywhere in the country. The guest said right, everything he spoke was on point. Believe me, I enjoyed this conversation this afternoon.
Thank you.
But my concern is our leaders should change their mentality and change everything we do in our religious circles.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. Thank you for your call. Let's hear from others. 0803-692-9933, 0803-692-9933. And on WhatsApp, the number to call or send a message to is
0817-175-6338. 0817-175-6338. Good afternoon. Welcome to Matters. Please what's your name and
Hello,
location?
Shoma Innocent,
Hello, how you doing?
Mitchell King.
Hello, good afternoon.
Congratulations to your guest.
Thank
In
you. I
fact,
can
he
hear you.
spoke my mind.
Okay.
And I want to ask Ningi, since his oversight functions tends to the security aspect, why has he not called the service chiefs all this while to explain why soldiers will leave a beat 30 minutes or 1 hour before invasion? And they will say it's order from above. Why has he not called them to explain that all this while? Apart from that, we've seen that all the killings has not been unanimously condemned by the Muslims, Fulani or Hausa. If not, rather what we hear them say is that these are their freedom fighters. They have not come out to tell us that no, these ones are not Muslims. And yet they have not condemned the fact that they say Allah Akbar before killing.
All right then.
Why have they not denied them that no, or stopped them from using Allah in killing? Thank you.
Thank you for your call. There are people who are speaking out about it. We always talk about how you can't paint everyone with one brush or paint everyone the same color, all right? Because of the actions of a few.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Matters.
Hello. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
How you doing? Welcome to Matters. What's your name and location?
Yeah, my name is Shola, and I'm calling from Lagos.
Good to hear from you, Shola. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So I greet your guest as well. He really spoke with a lot of insight. But there's a truth begging to be heard because there's more than meet the eye. Why am I saying this? We know many that are of the opinion that there's an agenda, especially in quote Islamic agenda, have a cogent reason to say that, just like the previous caller said. You understand? How many of the people of that state come out, to the activities of these people? You know what I'm saying? There are other things that if actually Nigeria is a secular state, why should an Arabic inspection be on our land? There are many things, that are hidden. So, this credence to what many people are insinuating. Why? If Nigeria is a secular state, why should there be an inspection? Imagine that it was a Christian ticket. That talk about this presidency. Do you know, I can bet it here that the people from the north will speak against this. Why should IDB go and put us, on list us among the OIC? You understand? So these are things, what the so-called presidential plan that some people, even from your station, some analysts advocating for, let me mention like Atiku. I've never heard Atiku come out to criticize these insurgents for once. See, they are deceiving themselves. There's actually an agenda. It's just that they are very secretive about this thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call, Shola. Hello, welcome to Matters.
Yeah, Choma, good afternoon. This is Emeka from Ogun State.
Thank you for holding on, Emeka. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Choma, what I want to say is that our president are going to Turkey to, discuss about the insecurity to help, for the Turkey to come and help us. I'm seeing it in my own angle that he did not go there to call them to come and help us, but for them to come and help Nigeria against America. And this will be a very, deadly zone by them
you're alleging that Nigeria is collaborating with America. Why collaborating with Turkey to work against America? How possible is that?
Can you hear you, please?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Now, what I'm saying, I believe that you're hearing me. What I'm saying is this. Now, for him to be going to Turkey, which you know that they are Muslim country, and there's many hand pointing on them in terrorism or sponsoring terrorism. So I don't see there's any good idea there. And why is it that Bumi never supports America to come in, but he also suggests and support for this area of Turkey? And in all this things that have been happening, what has the elders of the Muslims the leaders in Muslim do about this is there's nothing they say about it. Now, don't you think that this thing now is pointing towards religion war? Because when Turkey comes in and America, they know about Turkey and they will not take it because America is not here to apologize or taking any having any apology with anybody over this matter. And this will now landed into what? Into religion war. And they're not telling us what is happening. I mean, there's some secret things that happen in this nation, they're going on, they never tell us. And at the end, we are going to see that this will land up into what? Into religion war. That is what will end it. Because if the leaders of the Muslims are not supporting or they are not aware of what is happening, why are they raising an alarm over this matter? Why is it that all of them close their mouths and be silent over these matters? Now, how many mosques have they went and do what? Destroy and kidnap people every time I go now and they close their mouths. So whenever Turkey comes up onto this matter, America will rise and it will talk to religion.
All right, nobody's praying for that, and of course I believe that Nigerian leaders will not do anything like that will jeopardize the safety of their people, even if you do not believe that. But Mr. Fanimo, I'd like you to speak for like 30 seconds to a minute on what he said about it's eventually going to turn into a problem or a war between Turkey and America. I mean, is that even possible?
No,
Nigeria positioning itself between the two nations?
It's not.
Or people are seeing this from a non-existent angle?
It's not. It's not at all. It's not going to happen.
All right, then. Welcome to Matters. What's your name and location?
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon.
What's your name and location? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing? Good afternoon.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm calling from, my name is Ifai. I'm calling from Apapa.
Good to have you here. Go ahead.
Greetings to your guest there. So, in fact, I enjoy every bit of the analysis this afternoon. And about the Linky, how the Link is asking the services to come around for to explain to them why America entered to do the bombing in Sokoto. I don't think it is necessary. This is a way of exposing themselves more to the enemies. So I don't think it's welcome. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. 16 minutes before 3 p.m. We'll take a few more calls and then we'll take your messages and call it a day. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
What's your name and location? Good to have you here. Good afternoon.
My name is Charles Kole from Ikorodu. I greet your guest and Mr. King.
Good afternoon.
I greet you all. Yeah, my take is, you see, there is nothing different for a man going to Turkey to seek help to come and fight insurgents in Nigeria. It's like carry waterfall on top of a pepper. It was a good that they seek the help of Turkey. That is why President Tinubu went there to seek the help of Turkey. Knowing that they have the same agenda. Turkey, if there is a man called Gashoki, this man is from Saudi Arabia. Gashoki was killed at 219. Up to now, no case of that man's death because the man was against of this Islamic ways and all the rest, and justice and all the rest. The man based in America and he was killed in Turkey. It is not the same agenda that fighting in Nigeria here. One cause. See, the thing is that, like I always say, the Satanas will never do. The movement will never do. The religion they play. That is just it. On Toronto will unite. Reason as one. This is how they say, Yoruba na this one, Igbo man na this one, Edo man na this one. Whatever. We are between ourselves. Let's unite. Since we have come to understand that the president himself likes division, and the politician likes division. That is where they have ways to get what they want. And we, the commoner, we don't want to understand, say, this is don't use us too much. Let's come as well as using one. If we know unite and all sides with them, we will continue to connect and call. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. 0803-692-9933 on WhatsApp. It's 0817-175-6338. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Choma.
Hello.
Choma, please, I'm sorry.
1 minute.
I want to speak
1 minute,
for
so
very
we can hear from others. 1 minute,
you
please.
see, please. I want to say something about Turkey. Choma, see, Turkey might have been conquered by the Ottoman Empire and converted to Islamic states. But let me be honest, Turkey is not sponsoring terrorism. Now, Turkey could be selling arms, not in identification that they're selling to Boko Haram. They are a weapon producing country. They do well in weapon production and technology. And Turkey is a very moderate country, liberal. If you're a Christian there, you will sleep in peace and you wake up not with your mind up. I have friends and family members there. Well-developed country, civilized, one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I tell you the honest truth. So they might be selling weapons to anybody, to any faction, not because they are doing it to hurt any state. They might not be doing that deliberately. Like, for instance, some of these weapons, and these terrorists in the Middle East used to operate, they are buying it from Russia. Americans see those things, but they will not say Russia is pursuing terrorism. I don't think Turkey does that. And I just want to bring my opinion there. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your call. 08036929933. We're streaming live on YouTube, by the way. It's VOP 903 FM.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Matters. What's your name and location, please?
Hello, good afternoon, Chioma. My name is Mr. Michael, calling from Surulere.
Good to have you here. Go ahead.
Okay, Chioma. First of all, let me thank your guest for that very well articulated points he gave us this afternoon. Thank you very much. The man, he said a lot of things that made a lot of meaning. But then let me ask you, Chioma, why America offered us help by themselves? Why is our president going to seek help from Turkey? Why? That's what has been bothering me. And we all know that America is the superpower of the world. So is Turkey going to give us more superior power than America will give us? So I definitely believe there is more than meets the eye in all of this. Our leaders are not telling us the truth. There are a lot of hidden things that common Nigerians don't know that's happening in this government. Everything is rooted in secrecy. They go about doing things that the masses are not aware of what they are doing. And at the end of the day, when we know the reality, everybody will be like a bastard. So I am saying it is high time Nigeria starts asking the president, why are you going to ask for assistance from Turkey when America is already offering us that on platter of gold? I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you for your calls. All right, 11 minutes before 3 p.m. We can't take any more calls right now because of our time, but let's take your messages on WhatsApp. Michelle will take the messages one after the other. 0817-175-6338, 0817-175-6338 on WhatsApp. All right, let's begin. Mr. Dave Fanimo is leaving. Thank you so much for joining us. Somebody is asking that you explain how the forest guards were recruited. Can you do that for us before you go? 1 minute.
The federal government sent a bill to the National Assembly for an act establishing the National Forest Guard, and it's passed through the floor of the House, and it was assented to by the president, and recruitment earnestly commenced. And the first set of people that were recruited were trained, and after training they were deployed to various states to man the forests in some of these states. As I speak, there's another round of recruitment that is likely to take off any moment from now, because the number, I can't remember the exact figure, so I don't say a particular figure that is not correct, but I know that it's much more than the 7,000 that have been recruited. And so there will be continuous recruitment to make sure that we have capable, trained hands to man our forests.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mr. Fanimo, for joining us on Matters today. All right, then. We're taking your messages on WhatsApp. 0817-175-6338.
Good afternoon, VOP. Chama, I give kudos to your analyst. What he's analyzing is correct for today's topic. Thanks. Frank from Iowa.
Good day, Choma. You asked your analyst about what Turkey president tweeted. He began to dance around, trying to be in denial of the intention of Turkey's president. My submission is, no matter how long the truth is being covered, one day it will be open. Mr. Egbe from Ijegun.
Good day, VOP. I said it before that America has been watching. We are the incompetents once we are naive to the truth. American are from Agor. Tinubu's cabinet might get indicated in world court. I don't think it's safe for him not to come back for a second term. It will be risky for his presidency. Why are people still talking more about this insecurity issue? We are at war and we are relaxed. God forbid. I see this silence as cowardry. We are talking too much. We should act. We are in deep trouble.
Nigerian VOP station, the earlier we stop Tinubu from visiting this particular country, the better for us. The president has been charged on the terrorist case for suffering from terrorism in that's supposed to be a country to collaborate with. By the time our president will finish his conclusion, we all will see Nigeria has been Islamized. The US has come voluntary to support us. Why can't he work with them instead of working with the terrorists? I rest my case. Mumi Samuel from Ayobo.
I like this your guest, Choma. Why? Because whenever he comes, you like to stay back and listen to comments from callers and his intelligence than the Chinoye.
Yeah, Choma and the guests, don't place your hope on the forest guards. I understand they are selected from the same ethnic group that has been troubling Nigerians. Let government implement the community police that will be fully armed. Afam from Ejigbo.
Good afternoon, VOP. The Nigerian Legion Corps of Commissionaries are good to go, trained and ready to support the security and defense program of the Nigerian Armed Forces, comprising of the Nigerian Army, Navy Force, and Air Force as an offshoot. It is indeed a good government. The American Legion Corps is well funded and equipped. Same should be replicated here and deployed. Thanks to the guests on this program. Well done. Ray Flip is solo.
Good afternoon, VP. Shakanade from Alabaoro. Nigeria is a comedy movie. They are busy looking for poor man's son to go and fight Boko Haram while politicians and their children are enjoying Nigerian money. No be juju be that.
Good afternoon, Chairman Michelle. The president is traveling to Turkey is a waste of time and money. Why is the president afraid of going to the US? Turkey has nothing to offer to Nigerians. My regards to your guest, the young handsome Mr. David Michael from Jakonde.
All right, I guess today was Daily Fanimo. Good afternoon, JP. The analyst in the house is very informative, learned, and articulate. I salute Mr. Daily Fanimo. God bless you, sir. I'm Ejima Dennis.
Chema, good afternoon. I'm enjoying your program, especially your voice. Eddie Murphy from Agbara.
All right, good afternoon. America has declared Turkey a terrorist nation. The guns ISIS had is from Turkey. What is the president looking for in Turkey? MI.
Good afternoon, VOP. Are they from Lagos? What causes coup is bad governance, bad elections, bad economic policies, taxes, insecurity, etc.
All right, then. We're not talking about a coup today, are they? All right. Good day. Your analysts really talk well. I gained a lot from him. As per Senator from Katsina saying, that was Bauchi actually, saying that the defense chief should brief them concerning the Sokoto US strike. Why must security chief brief them? Security is supposed to be secret. What does he want to use the information for? Let the legislature face making laws they are selected for. Even the laws they are elected to make are they efficient in that area? They are not even performing in their own role. They are prognosing into another person's role. I beg, let them face their work. Make up for me, Jegun. To me, President Tinubu is just going on travel jamboree. If Tinubu is serious about fighting terrorism, he can easily call on US or Israel to help us without traveling. Even if he doesn't want to call on any nation, he can call on mercenaries to help us without spending billions on this is travel jamboree. The internet is there. The world is now a global village. There is no need to always travel by the president when he can just do all this via the internet. Thank you. That's from Emeka.
I am a Christian. This victimization mentality is not Christ-like. Since Abacha, we have been propagandistically alarming Islamization. It is wrong. Nigeria cannot be Islamized. AB from Ekpe.
Shoma, good day. But I want to ask you, why should Gumi be direct the federal government on what to do? Why President didn't go to US to seek help? Why Turkey? Let us be wise. Mike from Aswani. The government does what he wants to do. It's not like they took advice from Gumi. Gumi just gave an opinion. You understand?
Good day, Choma. I don't think I can feel fine if I don't hear your voice for one day.
Yeah.
Nandi from Banana Island.
I don't know, say I be opium of the masses. All right, then let's take some of your comments on YouTube because you're very important. Mr. Omoy Berai, good VOP. Why are there on government spaces in Nigeria? But when it's election time now, they will mount polling unit there. Beat Nigeria, especially the north, is not serious at all. And this person says,
Who are these?
Who has these forest guards? Do we have sense? You want to use Fulani to gather forest? Ejiofor Chris says the strategy here is to continue to insist that Nigeria is a secular state and there should be no Sharia law, or else we would answer our fathers' names. All right, 4 minutes before 3 p.m. It's about time for us to go. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you for listening to Matters. Keep listening to Matters. Join us tomorrow for tomorrow's program. with Mr. Solomon.
All right, then. She's right. I'll be taking the news tomorrow. Michelle, thank you for being a good sport. Thank you for being my co-host. And of course, to you, you're the reason we are here. You're the one we are here to give a voice. So if we don't hear from you, wait till we gain. Thank you so much for joining the program today. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for watching on YouTube. And thank you for your comments. We do appreciate you. Stick with Voice of the People 90.3 FM because coming right after this show is Funhouse Time with MC Chooks and Dr. Walkie Talkie. They'll be coming here to give you as in the hot, but in a comic manner, make you know to they think about the problem of the country. My name is Choma Innocent. From me to you, it's bye for now.